Mm. Good morning, everyone. My name is Batala Vamsi Krishna, and my group mate is Mahajan Rohan Raj. Will now introduce you to our project and explain the working of a code. The title of this project is Detection of Anki Vector Robot. The problem statement is as follows. Anki Vector Robot has been the cheapest, fully functional autonomous robot that has been ever built. The vector robot can be trained to recognize people, but it lacks the ability to recognize another vector. Thus, the purpose of this project is to provide a solution of the problem, of the above stated problem. To solve this problem, we use AI techniques. So, if the problem is to be solved as a search problem, then, for instance, for a single megapixel image, the state space with states as bounding boxes contains more than 10 power 12 states, which makes the search very difficult. So, and if the problem is to be formulated as a CSP, the constraints are heavily math involved, which makes the computation costly. Therefore, we use deep learning techniques involving neural networks. In order to solve this problem using neural networks, we need data. So we collected data from a website called Overflow. The dataset contains three folders, which are named as follows: training, test, and validation. Each folder contains images and the annotation files in XML format. The annotations contains the details of the respective image, such as file name, file path. It also contains coordinates of top left and bottom right corners of the bounding boxes. We use this dataset to train our neural network architecture. Now, my partner Rohan will continue with the explanation of the code.
Good morning, my name is Rohan Raj. Now I will explain the implementation of our project. We have created a notebook in Google Colab to write our code. In the first two cells of our code, we have imported various libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, TensorFlow, Matplotlib, etc. We have used TensorFlow to deal with convolutional neural networks. And we have imported xml.readTree to read and convert XML file into tree format. We stored our dataset in Google Drive. So in order to access all the data files, we have mounted our Google Drive with the Google Colab. We have also used a variable to denote the current path of our directory. In the next cell, the function XML to CSV takes the folder path as input and converts the required XML files present in the folder into CSV files. CSV files are of great use because they can be used as pandas data frames. The skip negatives variable is set to true if we want to skip the samples that does not contain robot, but we are setting it to false because we want to train the model the samples that doesn't contain the robot as well. Then we created three datasets called training, validation, and testing and generated corresponding CSV files for all three of them using the above function, that is XML to CSV. Uh, all the images used in the dataset are of size 640 by 360. Thus we declared the variables width and height as 640 and 360 respectively. And we first classify the images into two classes, namely vector and no vector. The next cell is very important cell in any neural network. This process is called pre-processing. First, we converted training CSV file into pandas data frame, which is used later very oftenly. Then we used Keras pre-processing for images. Keras pre-processing for images is a module used to center, crop, rescale, and assign a random rotation to images. This step is very important since all the samples of the dataset must have similar properties. In this process, we convert the image into NumPy arrays. here. We converted all of them into NumPy arrays here. We have also scaled the coordinates of the bounding boxes so that the entries always fit in between 0 and 1 here. Finally, we have stored training images into train_images as NumPy arrays and stored the scaled coordinates in train targets. Train labels stored the class index, 0 for vector and 1 for no vector. We have stored similar arrays for validation and testing as well. The above written codes come under pre-processing. Now my friend Vamshi will walk you through the training process.
First of all, the objective is to infer the two answers, whether or not image has a robot in it, and if the robot is present, to obtain the bounding boxes. To solve the first problem, we could use the image classifier, a convolution neural networks with two output neurons, one of which will represent the presence of robot and the other the absence. Then the maximum of the two can be taken. The second problem is completely different. To locate the robot, we need to predict the top left and bottom right corners. This means we need to predict four values. This can be done by having four output neurons in a neural network. Then the next challenge is to achieve these two things using a single network. One which outputs probability distribution and another which outputs coordinates. We tackle this challenge by implementing branched outputs. Since feature extraction needs to be same, we made convolution layers common and shareable. Here is the input layer of size given by input shape. It is then followed by a rescaling layer which rescales the pixel data in the range 0 to 1. We then created a chain of convolution and max pooling layers. Here is a branch responsible for classification. It contains two dense layers. This is a branch for localization. It contains four dense layers. And the inputs to the both classifier branch and localizer branch is the previous flattened branch. And then we are creating a model with input as input layer and output as classifier branch and locator branch, which are these two layers. Since the output are different to each branch, we need to specify appropriate loss functions. For classification, we use sparse categorical cross entropy. For localization, we use mean square error. Then we compile using Adam optimizer. For convenience, then we created three dictionary objects, which contains labels and targets. Then we are training the model. Here we set epochs to 5 and batch size. Here we set epochs to 20 and batch size to 4. Epochs indicates the number of times entered data will be worked out, and batch size indicates number of samples to work before updating the model weights.
We have stored the training data into a variable called history, which we later used to plot losses and accuracies for every iteration. Here we used matplotlib to plot and label the graphs. Then we predicted our test images based on the model we have learned. The test outputs are as follows. The arrays with the size 2 represent the output nodes for classification, and the arrays with size 4 represent the output nodes for localization. These indicate scaled coordinates of the bounding box, and these indicate whether a robot is present in the frame or not. These are the test samples we have collected and applied the model on them. We have got bounding boxes on the images. Finally, we have evaluated our test samples and stored it in test history. The accuracy on the classification is 100%, and we have got approximately 89% of accuracy for bounding boxes. Thank you.